To no good, watch The Joker's Wild tonight at 6 on Channel 48.
Damien, I'm really very worried about Raven. She hasn't been home in 2 days.
And you don't know where she is?
No, not really. We all know what an independent spirit Raven is, as witness her recent holiday in the Caribbean.
She didn't by any chance meet a young gentleman in the Caribbean, did she?
Yes, she did. A young man with 2 names. He called himself Johnny Gentry. But actually, his name is Lance Halliday.
Well, have you checked this Lance Halliday?
There's no telephone listing.
Well, what about her address book?
I tried that, but with no success.
Okay. What about Nora Fulton, Raven's secretary?
What about her?
Well, she may have some ideas where this Lance Halliday can be reached.
The truth is, Damien, I don't know where she is either.
Mrs. Whitney. Nora. Oh, thank God.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Coast Soap, the refreshing soap that brings you back to life, Coast deodorant soap. And by Mountain Grown Folgers, Mountain Grown coffee, the richest kind.
Hey, Ed, what'd you use an automatic coffee maker?
Folgers flaked coffee.
Great.
What do you use in the automatic coffee maker?
Folgers flaked coffee.
Delicious.
Mrs. Olson, what did you use? Oh, Folgers flaked coffee.
Nothing's better in these coffee makers.
Where's that?
Folgers is mountain grown, the richest kind of coffee. It's a coffee recommended by Mr. Coffee, the best-selling coffee maker.
And it's flaked?
Flaked to release more rich flavor, so you use less. If you normally use 5 measures, you only need 4 of Folgers flaked coffee.
Delicious.
Mountain Grown Folgers. That's how good coffee makers make great coffee.
I will not move from this chair, ever.
Mom, did you forget? Tonight's the chipmunk camp out and you're Mother Monk. Come on.
Mother?
Come on.
Ruth Brown needs Coast deodorant soap, the eye opener, with a light, fresh scent and creamy lather that feels good on the skin. A combination you wouldn't expect from a deodorant soap. Coast makes you feel more than clean. It actually brings you back to life.
Don't mess with Mother Monk. Ooh, I feel too good tonight.
Refreshing Coast, the eye opener. It actually brings you back to life.
Oh, Nora, I'm so glad you're here. Believe me, it is so good to see a friendly face.
What is going on? What are you doing in this place?
It is horrible. They have accused me of killing someone, and it was an accident. Did Cliff come by and tell you?
No, nobody came by. Not that I can think of, anyway. Listen, tell me what happened.
It was unbelievable. I went out with a friend to have dessert and coffee after dinner.
Was this a gentleman friend?
It was Lance Halliday. Remember, I told you about him? I met him in the Caribbean. I don't even know him. Why would I want to shoot his girlfriend?
You mean you shot his girlfriend? What?
No, I didn't shoot her. She tried to shoot him. She tried to kill him. And they were struggling for the gun. It fell down, and I picked it up.
And fired?
No, we were struggling. It just went off. But I didn't do it deliberately like he said.
Who?
Lance Halliday. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He says that I committed murder in cold blood. Now, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Yes, that's really incredible. The whole thing sounds unbelievable.
Well, I don't know what to do. I mean, I had an attorney, and then he just ran out from the courtroom, and I didn't see him again, and now I'm stuck in jail. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Well, I can do something for you, Mrs. Whitney.
Yes, you can do something for me. Please, will you go home and bring me back some clothes and some things? I've been in this dress for 2 days. Well, if Cliff didn't tell you, how'd you find out?
Well, it was on the news.
Oh, God, the news.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Radio, television, newspapers.
Oh, God.
You should see the reporters are swarming all over the house.
It's horrible.
But listen, I can help you, Mrs. Whitney. But first, let's take care of that list of things that you want. Sergeant, may we have a pencil and paper, please?
Certainly, ma'am.
Jim, I'm sorry. I just can't see you tonight. For one thing, I had a long, horrible day at the studio. And for another...
And for another thing, you just don't want to see me, right?
No, Jim, listen. Look, how about sometime tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be a little too late. This is a problem I've got to deal with right now, Val.
Well, I don't see how I'm going to be able to help you.
You're going to be able to help me more than anybody in this town. I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody I can trust, somebody I believe in. Even if you don't believe in me.
Jim, are you in some kind of trouble?
Yes, I'm in trouble. I didn't know it was going to get this bad. And it could get a whole lot worse before it's over. Hey. Hey, Val, could I call you later? You got a lot of nerve showing up here. You're really two-faced. What? You lied to me. And you lied to everybody else. You had one game going on with Raven Whitney, and we had another one.
Hey, Jimmy, take it easy. Blood pressure, that's the silent killer, you know.
Johnny and Hector told me exactly what happened at the hearing and what you did to Raven Whitney.
I did it for the group. The maskers. I'm always thinking of the maskers. You know that.
You changed the whole scenario. You changed Johnny's story. You told me you were going to let that woman go after the hearing. But no, you put her back in jail and you tell her she's going to be indicted by the grand jury.
Yeah, that's pretty good, too. You know, I think there's a little genius in me. I really do. I mean, that idea came to me at the last minute.
No, it didn't. You've been planning that from the very beginning.
All of a sudden, I saw the handwriting on the wall. I really did. We had to abandon the old scenario. There was no way that lady was ever going to change her mind about letting us have the theater.
I told you that from the very beginning.
That's right. You did. You did. You did. You were right, Jimmy. We should have listened to you. We really should have. I had to come up with something better. You know, some new idea. That's what I did.
I know what you did. You changed a practical joke into extortion.
Extortion? Hey, don't throw those $50 words at me. I know you went to law school.
You know what it means. It means you're trying to get money from her. That's the bottom line, Smiley.
That's right. I'm trying to get money from her. A few bucks for the trouble we went through. Hey, you don't know this, pal, but Raven Whitney is one of the richest women in the whole world. Huh? You hear what I'm telling you? I looked it up. She's worth over $200 million, Jimmy. $200 million. You know how much money that is? She could drop $50,000, $60,000 out of her pocketbook. It's like you and me losing our bus fare. You're not listening to me, are you? Huh?
No, you're damn right.
$200 million. Think of it. You want to put on a play, she could finance the whole thing for us. You want a theater, she'd buy a theater for us. Buy it. Buy it.
I'm not listening to this.
Oh, well, we got it right in our power. What's the matter with you? Why don't you see it? She could have all the money there is in the world. Don't you understand that? Nothing would be right if she didn't have her freedom.
And you're going to sell it to her?
Hey, she'll pay anything we want.
And what if somebody blows the whistle?
Who's going to blow the whistle? Calvin Stoner, he's out of it. So is Cliff. That leaves Johnny, Mitzi, Hector, me, and you.
Who counted me in?
Hey, are you kidding? We need you, Jimmy. You know that. We've always needed you. That's right, always. That's why we don't want you to back out. That's why we won't let you back out.
It starts to sound like a threat, Smiley.
Well, let me put it this way, Jimmy, all right? You know what'd happen if you did something naughty? We'd go to jail, and you'd go to jail, and that poor little girlfriend of yours would sure miss you, wouldn't she? You're gonna do something, you better do it real good, Jim. Hector told me about that scam you pulled on that sweet little girl of yours, huh? Valerie Bryson. If she finds out what you're into now, isn't that something? I don't think she'll ever visit you in prison, not even on Sundays. $200 million.
You know how I define old? It's someone that's so set in their ways, they just won't change. They can't change. The big change that I made in my life recently was when I was given Tylenol in the hospital after surgery. That was a whole new experience for me because I have been taking aspirin all my life. And now I've changed to Tylenol. That's what's worked wonderfully. And so that's what I continue to take. Well, I think probably the fact that it was recommended in the hospital caused me to change. And it worked so effectively that I never thought to change back. It turns out that Tylenol is the pain reliever that hospitals use most. Well, if hospitals can trust Tylenol, I know I sure can. So now if I have any aches or pains, Tylenol is the only thing I take.
For relief you can trust. Trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol in regular and extra strength.
I feel you're never too old to change, especially when it's a change to something as good as Tylenol. That's why I'm glad I switched to something that not only works, but that I can really put my trust in.
I told you that I'd be coming back. I hope that that's all right.
Yes, but I have to go out soon, so you won't be able to stay long.
As you can see, I'm not alone this time.
I didn't say that I would see her.
Val, I've got rather a severe headache. If it wasn't for Libby, I probably wouldn't have managed to get over here at all.
Please, Miss Bryson. I know I haven't made you feel exactly friendly toward me, and I am very sorry. But perhaps now that you know the whole story, you can understand.
No, Miss Webster, I can't understand. And I don't know the whole story.
Val, what happened was more my fault than it was Libby's. You see, I told her that we had known each other in San Moritz, and she decided to follow you around to see whether you were a friend or a foe.
I know I acted far too mysteriously, but I was afraid to reveal too much. Sky has enough enemies in this town.
Well, that explains everything. I understand perfectly.
Val, may we come in, please?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I realized that I didn't convince you when I saw you last time, that you just found it impossible to believe that the man that you knew as Cy Whitney was a fake.
But you didn't offer me any proof, except for your face.
But we thought you might accept something else. Some answers. Answers to your own questions about Sky, and in turn, we could get some answers from you about the man who's been living his life. We all want to get to the truth.
Val, it's very important to me. And if we can reach the truth, that should give you some peace of mind, too.
Well, that certainly would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so what would you like me to do?
Well, I'd like to talk about us. About what we had in San Moritz. You see, with my head being the way that it is, I'm a bit foggy, you see, but... well, we could at least try. Do you have the machine?
Oh, yes. I thought I could tape your questions. It might be of a help to us later on, if you don't mind.
No, fine. I just don't know where to begin.
Well, let's start with when we first met, when we were first alone together.
How about the first time we kissed?
You know, I can't really recall that.
That's not very flattering.
Well, I remember our first date. I remember that very well. We had dinner at the hotel.
Were we alone?
Well, yes, of course we were.
You don't recall being interrupted by your friend, Jeff Brown, and that girl he picked up?
Yes. That's right, of course. He came with a girlfriend. She had red hair.
She wore a ski cap. We couldn't even see her hair. You speculated that maybe she was bald. He remembered that.
He?
The man that you're calling an impostor remembered the whole evening. Jeff Brown, the girl, the joke about being bald.
Well, I can hardly be expected to remember a crummy joke that's 3 years old.
Well, what about the first time you kissed me? It wasn't that night.
No, it wasn't. It was on the slopes.
It was on the ski lift. I tried to stop you and you fell off. Do you recall that?
Yes. I do. I remember that very well.
So then what happened?
Well, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt at all.
Do you remember pretending to be hurt? No, you don't, do you?
No, I can't seem...
You lay there in the snow, looking as if you'd broken a bone, and Jeff Brown came running up to see if you were all right. And I was scared to death. I came running over, and you pulled me down into the snow and kissed me. That was the first time.
Sky, why should you believe this woman is telling you the truth? She was obviously in love with that impostor.
That's a lie. And if you don't believe me, why don't you just take your tape recorder and go?
Val, please, let's try just once more, please. Just once more.
All right, one more question. What about the song?
What song?
The song that you played over and over again the night before you left. Jeff Brown said he was going to break the jukebox if you played it one more time.
This head injury, it's done something to me. Even these small details.
He knew the song.
I can't remember.
Sky, she's trying to trick you. I warned you. She's doing this on purpose.
Hey, this is your game. But I'm not answering any more questions, and I really don't think it's going to do you much good to ask me any.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you trying to hurt me?
Let me go!
I never did any harm to you. I liked you. I could almost have fallen in love with you. Did you know that?
Sky, let her go. Don't you see it's no use? She isn't on your side.
No, she isn't. Nobody is.
Not long ago, my only exercise was climbing up and down a stepladder. Today, I'm climbing Eagle Mountain. Boy, have I changed my life for the better. Back then, antique stores were the only place I knew to buy antiques. Now I know what to look for. I get my best buys at yard sales. That's some change. And before I knew better, I had to buy boxes of this and bottles of that to get my laundry clean and soft. But Bold 3 detergent plus fabric softener changed that. A product that cleans, softens, and controls static cling all in one box. Now that's a change for the better. Oh, I know, only if it works. Well, Bold 3 works. Look at these jeans. Muddy, right? These were just as muddy. Would you ask more from a detergent? And talk about softness. I mean, this feels really soft. Now watch. No sticking, no crackling, no annoying static cling. Would you ask more from your fabric softener? Now that's some change.
A change for the better. Bold 3.
You invite me over for a friendly dinner, and look what I find.
Another glass.
Eddie, it's got lipstick on it.
And just after this greasy pan.
It's not my shade.
Dawn will handle it.
After those greasy dishes?
Try it yourself.
Water doesn't feel greasy, or my hands. And this glass looks as good as the first one.
Dawn's great, huh?
Now, about the lipstick.
What lipstick?
Dawn takes grease out of your way.
Smiley, where the hell have you been? I've been trying to call you.
Take it easy, will you? I've been out doing some good work. I think I talked Jim into coming with us.
Yeah. A lot of good that's going to do us now.
We're going to have a lawyer for this deal, and Jim was a law student.
Oh, great. Listen, now, while you're at it, why don't you get us each a lawyer now?
What's that mean?
We just blew the whole thing, that's what.
What are you talking about?
Guess who's here? Raven Whitney's secretary.
Here?
Yeah.
How'd she get here?
Don't ask me. She just walked in here and found out this whole thing was a phony. She was impossible to bluff.
Where is she now?
She's downstairs talking to her boss.
Smiley, I have someone here you'd like to meet. This is Miss Nora Fulton. This is Whitney's private secretary. This is my brother, Smiley.
Ah, yes, the mastermind.
I told her you thought up the whole scheme, Smiley. Gotta give the devil his due, right?
What's going on here?
Everything's okay, Johnny. Nora's on our side. Right, honey?
I like a good joke just like everybody else, and I have to admit it, guys. You really worked out a beauty.
Yeah? Ah. I like that. Hear that, Johnny?
Yeah, I hear it. I don't understand it.
Well, I don't think very much of my employer anyway. You see, she's the widow of a man who murdered someone who's very dear to me.
So that means you won't tell on us.
Oh, it's better than that. Nora is gonna help us.
How are you gonna help us, Mama?
You're gonna need someone like me. Mrs. Whitney needs a contact with the outside world.
Right.
Someone to bring her things.
Right.
Someone to bring her news from home.
Right.
Get it?
Right.
Hello?
Jim, is that you?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to call me back.
Well, somebody came by and I just got rid of him just now.
Well, is it still urgent that you see me?
No. No, I don't think there's any point. I shouldn't be bothering you with my problems.
Now, Jim, I never said that.
Well, you said you didn't want to see me. It's about the same thing.
No, listen, if you have a problem, I would be happy to see you. Really, if you want.
Oh, I wish you'd said that a half hour ago.
Sounds like you've changed your mind.
Well, something's come up, and I've got to go out, so I can't see you tonight.
Well, I understand. That's okay. I hope everything works out for you, Jim. Bye.
Mrs. Saxon, I'm going to get going on this as soon as I can, but since you want this to be an unofficial investigation, I really can't promise you how rapid the progress will be.
I understand that, Damien.
I guess the best place to start is with this guy from the Caribbean.
Yes, that's a good starting point.
You say he's tall, dark, handsome, and rich.
Oh, Nora. So you decided to come home.
Hello, Mrs. Saxon. Is there something wrong?
Yeah, Mrs. Saxon and I were just discussing the mysterious disappearance of your employer.
I don't see anything mysterious about it. I just talked to Mrs. Whitney.
You did? Where?
At a friend of hers, a gentleman friend named Johnny Gentry. He has a very fancy penthouse apartment.
Oh, for heaven's sake, what did she tell you?
Well, that she's going on a trip again. A cruise. This time, a long, long cruise.
Alone?
I didn't ask. I doubt it. I think she's taking Mr. Gentry. She gave me a list of things to get for her.
You mean she's not coming home before she leaves?
Apparently, they're leaving right away. I think I'd better hurry.
Miss Fulton, 1 minute, please. I'd like to see that list, if you don't mind.
Before.
Just let me see the list. Mrs. Saxon, is that Raven's handwriting?
Oh, yes, that's hers, all right. I can tell by the misspelled words. And she always draws little O's over the I's.
Excuse me.
Well, I guess that solves our mystery, doesn't it?
I do one thing. I race to win. And at 250 miles per hour, I have to concentrate on being the best. Just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. They concentrate on chicken, cooked up fresh to split-second timing with the Colonel's special touch. That's how Kentucky Fried Chicken got to be #1. And it tastes so good.
It's the only time Mom's never in a hurry to finish first.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
My children? Cleaning?
It's your birthday, so we're cleaning.
But that's not pledge.
It says it works on wood.
Well, maybe, but our furniture deserves pledge. It's specially formulated for wood. Watch. See how clearly it shines with pledge?
Hey, my side looks blurry.
And the pledge side?
It's bright and beautiful.
What's burning?
We made dinner, too.
Doesn't your wood deserve pledge every time you dust?
Because I cleaned the sandwiches out from under your bed? Oscar!
Felix is betting that it's Oscar who borrowed money from the poker pool. Tonight at 7:30.
Gee, you got your own private secretary, huh? I thought only businessmen had private secretaries.
Could you shut up for a minute? I'm trying to think.
Excuse me.
Well, Mrs. Whitney, I've got some good news for you.
Oh, you do?
You can make that phone call now if you like. I'll just plug it in over here for you. Now, it was Mike Carr you wanted to call, right? Okay,
Yes.
I have that number. Oh, could you hold that for me? Thanks. Okay. Hello, Mike Carr, please. Yes, this is the 9th precinct. We have someone here who would like to speak with him. Yes, thank you.
Hello?
Hello, Mike. It's Raven.
Oh, hello, Raven. How are you? I've been meaning to come and see you, but things have been so busy around here.
I'm in terrible trouble. I have to talk to you.
I'm afraid I know that only too well, Raven. I'm preparing the case for the grand jury right now.
It's been just horrible. I don't know why this person did this to me, but I have to see you and just talk for a little while.
That's impossible now, Raven. It would be unethical. You should work through your attorney.
But that's just it. I don't have an attorney, and I thought maybe you could suggest somebody to me. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can.
Oh, you can? Who?
His name is Bennett Matthews. He's probably the best criminal lawyer in the state, maybe the whole country.
Oh, that's terrific. I'm going to need the best. When can I see him?
I'll talk to him tonight. I'm sure he'll be there as fast as he can.
So just stop worrying. Right. Bye.
Guess I better call Bennett Matthews.
Years ago, making real Italian food meant waiting for the Progresso truck.
Tony, send up some tomatoes.
It carried the Progresso foods that have become a tradition in Italian kitchens. Today, you can enjoy Progresso Italian-style breadcrumbs, specially seasoned to turn chicken, meatballs, veal, or fish into an Italian feast. So for Italian-style breadcrumbs, make it Progresso or make it yourself.
Tony, since I found Progresso, I don't have to cook anymore.
I won't tell anybody, Mrs. Carvelli.
When we eat our shredded wheat, we never leave them whole. We mash them up and bash them up, we smash them in the bowl. We crush them, break them, squash them, squeeze them, twist them in our fist. We grind them into tiny, tasty bits.
Nabisco shredded wheat, big or little, made of 100% natural whole wheat with no added sugar, no added salt.
They feel so good, they taste so good for breakfast. We love that whole wheat flavor, we love that whole wheat crunch.
Nabisco shredded wheats, the great taste of whole wheat. No added sugar, no added salt.
Tonight at 6, Jack Barry is your host for a half hour of game show festivities when the Joker's wild. And tonight at 8, the 76ers will try to clinch the mini-series against the Atlanta Hawks in Game 2 of the 3-game playoff series. Now, stay tuned for the Love Boat.
This is Field Communications in Philadelphia.
Look into WHT, America's premier movie network, and take your family for a real night out on the town. Every month, enjoy recent feature films, vintage screen classics, children's specials, showbiz extravaganzas, and rendezvous adult films. There's something for everyone in your family. Plus, you don't have to wait for cable TV. You can get WHT right now, today. Call toll-free. Operators are standing by.
Just one place to buy TVs, appliances, and audio.
Oh, yeah?
Silo. There's just one place with the biggest selection.
Oh, yeah?
Silo. There's just one place where the prices are low, really low.
Oh, yeah?
Silo. Look.
Save on a Toshiba microwave, $199. On a Techniques cassette deck, $119. An RCA 17-inch color portable, $299.
For big selection and bigger savings, there's just one place. Silo. Oh, yeah.
I love new blue. Just pop blue in the tank and it helps clean and deodorize with every flush for up to a month. Try blue. It's the simplest bowl cleaner yet.
It's Bullseye, the game in which daring determines the fate of the players. Join host Jim Lang and catch the action as contestants.